What's up, everybody? Cowboy here, 6:33, 8:33 a.m. EST. And we just had some data come out, some employment data pushing markets around. Must have been a pretty big miss because I'm looking at the Bitcoin chart, and I should say not the Bitcoin chart, but the Euro chart, and that's looking pretty wild. So did not share my screen immediately. So let me go ahead and bring that up, so we can take a look at what's going on. What's this market reaction here? Let's go over to Bitcoin, and we'll see if it's confined to the FX markets. No, it's in crypto too. Must have been a pretty big move here. Let's get rid of all these drawings here. Zoom in a bit. Sorry, I was not prepared. I got to the computer a little bit late there. Some mornings is just like that. All right, so this is the far out view. So we're going to move over to the low time frame just to take a look at how the data affected price in the near term. And this will be a good reminder of why I do not trade during data announcements, right? Because it affects all markets. It affects the FX market, but you know, Bitcoin really is a currency, so it will affect other currency markets as well. And this is Bitcoin right here. So we can see, in fact, I want to go to the 1 minute just so you can see the actual crazy movement, because I'm taking it that the news was bad news on the unemployment data, right? And the reason I take that is because price moved up in a pretty remarkable way, but it came down first, right? First it moved down and then it came up. So let's go into the calendar here and refresh, and we'll see what happened with the employment data. There's also hourly earnings. A pretty decent miss, not that big of a deal, but I mean, we're still looking at like a 12-15% miss, right? It was supposed to be the estimated non-farm jobs ad was 164K, and actually ended up being 142. So a bit of a miss. And then the hourly earnings was up. So it was kind of mixed data, but it looks like the employment's what took the main spotlight here. And you can see on Bitcoin that price, like I said, it came down first. The news was bad. That means price should be being pushed up because the dollar is being pushed down by the quote unquote bad news. But it actually came down first and then went up. So anybody who, you know, was gambling, thinking maybe price would go up during that announcement, right? Anybody who went long, say like right here, right? Well, if they thought price was going to go up, they were in for a surprise. It did go up, but they got knocked out of their trades. Price swung down to grab stops and then came up first. So that's just the kind of chicanery that goes on. Even though price is supposed to go up and people planned on that maybe, and they went long and they put their stop below all this support, going back to earlier, you know, this morning, just that even though they did everything right, those particular people, even with the stop this deep right here, they still got knocked out of their trades. They got stop ran. Price does seem to continue to want to go up, so we can go ahead and take a look at where it's going to go after this, right after we say good morning to the Guerilla. How are you, sir?
Hello. Good morning to all of
Good
you.
morning. Usual market chicanery, and a data announcement came out, and then stops got ran. Pretty typical. Not terribly surprising. So a little bit of a reprieve on Bitcoin right now. So looking at some price, probably going to bounce up and then probably come back down. You know, right now the market is still pretty bearish, so I'm expecting this to be a rally, which I plan to sell. Once the algos tip me off to say it's time to sell, then that's what it is. And it's probably not going to happen for a number of hours. Might not happen until later today, but everything is still bearish, right? So in a bearish scenario, I mean, this is a very clear downtrend, right? You got lower highs, lower lows, very, very clear. And in a time like this, the thing to do, at least for me, is to sell the rallies, sell when it heads up. So we're in that world right now. We're in that dynamic. And that being the case, then I'd be looking for a rally to sell. And how would I measure where that might be? Well, I mean, this is a very clear downtrend, right? So I would look at the prior extension down. This is on the 3 hour. This is going back a few days. This is a big move. And this is the extension really right here. And so I would go ahead and line my fib up on that. Look for a move back. In this case, to the 618, because all these do look like 618 pullbacks so
What's
far.
Bitcoin at right now?
Bitcoin is right now at 56,750-ish.
Beautiful.
So I know you probably got some clients that are looking for some
yes.
So with that being the case, look, a 618 pullback is realistic. I'll apply some more tools to this to see where if we can maybe look for a more precise entry here. Yeah, I would say the 618 is pretty solid. I mean, it could flip around right where it is. It might not even get up to the 618, but anywhere between here and about 57,200 are the most likely areas. It could go beyond that. It could, but there's just not a lot of liquidity above that from recent price movement. So, price might kind of come up a little bit here, go sideways, even go up a little higher, maybe. But either way, I think it's going to continue down. And this will be the target down around 53,000. And 53,000 is a historical number. When price panicked down, there was a stop off at 53,000 on the way back up. During the Japanese yen thing, on the way back up, price did kind of stop off right at about actually 54,000. And 54,000 is a pretty good target, but I've did some measurements yesterday on the show having actually 53 is an even, kind of better target. In this case, 53,250 to be precise. But if you want to play it safe and you're, taking shorts and you get yourself a nice entry, then 54.5 is just like we talked about yesterday is that's a decent target based on this structure right here, a little bit of structure. And if price still seems bearish and, you want to try to take it farther, and that's up to you. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, anything can happen, but that's a decent trade plan. And it's not really a different trade plan to what we talked about yesterday. So ultimately, this is just a continuation. And then the news this morning has given us a pullback and a rally to sell. Is there any more data coming out today? I don't see it. Oh, there is. Oh, boy. Okay. It has this as a high impact event. So at 1 p.m. EST, the FOMC member Waller is going to speak. And for some reason, they have it as a high impact event. Not usually the case. When anybody besides Powell talks, usually it's like a medium impact event. Like this one here, FOMC member Williams speaks at 9:45 a.m. That's a medium impact event, but they have a heavy one here. Due to speak about the economic outlook at the University of Notre Dame in Indiana, audience questions expected. Interesting. So apparently this must just have some kind of like large audience or somehow it's significant. So I'd be careful. Between it's going to be 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. ish, I'm guessing. It's going to start at 1, go for 30 minutes to an hour, I'm guessing. And during that period of time, we might see the market fluctuate a bit unexpectedly. So that's that. Via the Guerilla. Got a few minutes left here in the live lab. I did start just 2-3 minutes late, so we got a few minutes yet left. Is there anything you want to see in the charts before we plow into the private live lab?
No.
Nah. Okay. Well, then I will go ahead and take a look at Solana. I'm just expecting. Look, Solana has been moving sideways while Bitcoin's been falling, and that's on the high time frame. Solana has remained strong. And there it is. It just has a great support sitting around 120, and it hasn't gone below that yet. And despite Bitcoin having a kind of these lower highs, lower lows on that same time frame, Solana's just going sideways and creating ranges. So it's been pretty consistent since the halving that Solana is just outperforming Bitcoin. So in this particular case, I think it's safe to sell the tops and to buy the lows. This one here is a little tough, though. You might have gotten wicked out on this, but this range is getting pretty well established. So I wouldn't be afraid to maybe look to sell some of those tops right there once it happens. And of course, if Bitcoin is looking to continue down, then maybe selling in this range is great. And this is a 3-hour chart. This is a pretty high time frame deal. So there's a chance that by the end of today, Solana's going to be up towards 136, and that might be a time to look at selling out. So we are now at the end of the live lab via the Guerilla, can you please get us over to the private?
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, guys, let's get over to the private side where you get all the juicy details, all the information you're not going to get anywhere else. Join us, or you know what? Cowboy, take it away.
Join us or die.